Hello, welcome to hands-on-sap.com. This is Hassan Mir. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about the differences between client, company code, and business area. We have talked about client before. You have SAP installations, and within each SAP installation, you can create multiple clients so that you can use each client for different purposes. So client could act as virtual machines within the physical machine, each being used for different purposes. Okay. Then we talked about financial accounting enterprise structure, and we also talked about that this is something very important and all modules depend on this structure, and company code is an element within this structure. Now, what is the relationship between the company code and the client? That's what we're going to focus in this tutorial beside other things. So SAP installation could have multiple clients, okay, and each client could have multiple organization units. Okay. Now, data entered at the client level is visible through all organization units. For example, exchange rates. So all common data is entered at the client level. This is how SAP is designed so that data is not duplicated across organization units. Now, each client maintains its own master record, okay, in the database. Not only that, it maintains its own sets of tables in the database. Okay, so data is really segregated at the client level. When user logs into the system, user login is validated at the client level as well. So user must have an entry in the master data at that client. Okay. Now we're talking about organization units, that each client has multiple organization units. What are organization units? So organization units are basically two types: company code and business area. So this is how your company code fits into the picture. And we have been talking about company code before as well, that this is an important part of the financial structure. Now, company code is created for external reporting, and optionally you can create business areas mainly for internal reporting. You don't report business area reports created against business areas to the external world. So that's what the company code is for. Okay. Now, company code mainly is representing the legal entity. Legal entity is a company that is registered with the government. Okay, and by law in most countries you have to create representation in your ERP software so that financial reports could be produced at the company level. Okay, so that's what the company code is for. You create financial reports at company level by creating this company code in SAP. Now, in case of a global company that spans across multiple countries, you have to create company code for each country because of the legal requirements. Most likely that company is facing different legal requirements in Canada as opposed to USA, so we have to break that main global company down into multiple small companies, one for each country. Now, business area are created for internal reporting, okay, and they represent a unit for which you want to produce financial statements, a unit other than legal entities. For example, if you have a company and the company has multiple departments and you want to create financial statements like income statements or balance sheet, etc., if you want to produce financial reports for each department, then you can create business area for each of those departments, okay, so that you can create financial reports for each department. Or you can, if you want to create financial reports for each line of business, for example, you have maybe 5 companies in your organization, and each company is dealing with, let's say, 10 line of businesses, and not only you want to produce financial reports for each company, but you also want to produce financial reports for each line of business. Then you can create business area representing line of businesses. Okay, so this is something, business area concept is something very flexible, and you can use it for any unit against which you want to produce financial statements. Okay, so use of business area is totally optional. Here's an example of divisional reporting. This is company 1, let's say, and this company has 2 departments, yellow and green, and you can produce financial reports at the company level because this company is registered and this company has a company code, and this is a legal entity, so we can produce financial reports for companies anyway, right? So that's not a problem. So we can produce a financial report at the company level. But what if you want to produce a financial reporting at the divisional level as well? So what we're going to do is we can create two business area, one representing a yellow division and one representing green division. Okay, and you can take the same concept in terms of department as well. You can create one business area for green department and one for the yellow department. Okay, so this is one use of business area. And if you do like one-to-one implementation of company and business area, that doesn't really make sense, and it's defeating the whole concept of having business area, right? So this is a wrong implementation if you do like that. Now here is another good example of cross-company business areas. Let's suppose you have two line of businesses. You sell computers and you sell, let's say, services, consulting services. Okay, and you have two companies, and both companies do the same thing. Maybe one company is in Canada and one in America, or maybe they're within the same country, but they're two different companies. You can produce financial reports for company 1 and company 2 without any problem, because they are already registered as legal entities. They have their company codes in the system. But what if you want to produce financial reports for each line of business separately? How did you do for consulting services, and how did you do by selling computers? Okay, so you need to find out how well both your line of business are doing. So you can create one business area for let's say your line of business 1, and another one business area for your line of business 2. Okay, so now this is like cross company business areas. All the transactions that belonging to your business area, your line of business 1, they're gonna go to your business area 1 from both the companies. And all transactions belonging to your line of business 2, they're going to go in business area 2 as well from both the companies. Okay, so this is another example of the use of business area. So in this tutorial, the point was to explain you the differences between company code and the client and the business areas. Okay, so just keep these concepts in mind. They will come handy in coming tutorials when we're going to start doing the actual implementation of our company in the system. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.